be full stop, and landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas S filed.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Check flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Dallas 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected 40FG5, departure 126 squawk 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, 3 back is correct. Tango to Mike, taxi to the ramp via Echo and this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left traffic, left downwind runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left, and we'll call you base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 on number 3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Panama Tower, King Alpha 208 Kilo, ILS 54.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11.
The land,
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ramp plus 4658 east ramp with weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, clear low approach, runway 9, next report is lifted.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go 3 and right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Fifth takeoff 3 and right plus 4658.
Panama Tower, King Alpha 208 Kilo, 58
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
via Alpha to Kilo, please.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking place.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear of the active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta.
Riverside Tower, runway 16.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 27, 03 Alpha. Riverside Ground, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to the transient parking.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. You should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha, Rocket, November 2903 Alpha.
Generally clear. Generally clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike, type Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike, jawline clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, Kilo, Oscar, X-ray, Romeo.
That's Kilo, Oscar, X-ray, Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through and get your clearance up.
Las Vegas Tower plus 4658 unusual 1 on the right, 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land, 19 right, 4658.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel, remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, ramp via hotel, ramp frequency 58, 468.
Ground number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PA24/Alpha. Taxi the active VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach Ground, need you to verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and the east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger. Runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right Kilo, ready for departure via Park East.
Number 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs, ground scanning Hotel Tango, East Red, India, close traffic, 31 right.
Alpha Hotel Tango, do you mind? Palm Springs ground, say again aircraft type.
Gray Cessna Sky.
Skyline Tango, do you mind? Thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right, Palm Hotel Tango.
We're 791 Juliet, towards ground left clear.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, we see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground, just say your intentions.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, type Cessna 172 on the south angles with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249, that's 2061, squawk 791 Juliet.
Got 991 Juliet, read back is correct, are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go around to the side. Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, south angles, now ready to taxi.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right, taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right, taxi via Alpha and Juliet, Sky 791 Juliet.
Palm Springs Tower, scanning Papa Hotel Tango, Mike is holding short runway 31 right, Bravo, and ready for departure, close traffic. Hello everyone! She flew a Cessna 172.
I did it. You need to come a little bit closer.
A little bit to the left, okay. Guys, welcome! Good to see you here on the stream. Happy Sunday. So what we're going to do today is no simulation flying, but I made a video recording of Mrs. Uncertified flying a Cessna 172 here on a local airport around over our home and our work, and she did turns and she did climbs, she did traffic patterns. So as best as I could, I made a video recording as a passenger from the rear seat. And today I video edited all that video material together with some nice photographs that I made. And we thought it might be fun to stream that video here through the channel, share it with you, and just talk about like a voiceover. We're going to talk over the video and share the experience and comment, because man, it was a thrill. Also for me as a passenger, but man, you did great.
It was so much fun. Yeah. I still haven't found the words to describe this. Yeah.
Yeah,
We just need to watch
it was really, really memorable. You're going to see it on her face. Morning from Las Vegas, Captain Blackwood says. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome aboard. Yeah. Do we have anything to say before we're going to show the video? Because the next slide, then the video is going to run. It's going to be a 20-minute video.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, Dad. Good to see you. There's going to be a 20-minute video. Perhaps you can do some questions afterwards, because perhaps you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about the experience of Mireille, also in reference to flight simulation.
Well, let's maybe start with the hard evidence first, because we have video of the whole event. People say, well, maybe you edited it. No. I have proof. I have. You can see it because of the screen. You knew that. Okay, I need to. It's
a yellow cover.
It's a yellow covered AOPA pilot logbook.
Oh, we can kind of see. She has her own logbook with her first logged.
With my first logged flight training. I did it. And this was actually also the first time ever that I was in a Cessna. Yeah, let's keep that very safe.
Yeah, that's also important to mention.
It was also my very first being in a non-airliner airplane. So we thought, why don't take a lesson right away?
So it was a double thrill in a way. Yeah, no, it was. And it was so exciting. And for me, even also, I mean, I've flown in a Skyhawk before. As a young kid, but also, well, a couple of years ago.
Young man.
A couple of years ago. And for me, also to witness your joy of flying as a passenger was also so thrilling and so exciting. So I had a blast as well. Anything else that we need to say before we're going to watch the video?
No. Maybe that we didn't tell at least my parents
also,
beforehand.
To mention, here's the webcam. Here's your own face.
I know.
Oh no, I thought you were only looking at yourself, and so I thought you were looking at the viewers while you were chatting. Okay. Yeah.
That we even didn't tell my parents, at least, because we thought, well, they might be a little bit scared. So afterwards, we sent them an app message, and we said, "You had a little secret today." But they were really thrilled as well, and liked the pictures and everything.
And glad that we mentioned it afterwards.
So let's just do it. Hi, Minimaps.
Hey, Minimaps, good to see you as well. Alrighty, here we go, guys. Mrs. Uncertified first ever flight lesson.
Here we go.
Well, guys, here we are. That's the Cessna. Let me see if I can. It's a modern one. So that's really, really cool. It's so good flying weather. It's amazing. I don't know if you guys can see, but just a few cumulus clouds.
Lovely weather.
It's lovely. And she's excited.
I am very excited.
So this is what she has.
We just had a little tour in the hangar. Look at the other Cessnas. Talked about that we're going to do a walk around. Then we're going to do the official procedure to take off.
With a checklist and stuff.
So excited.
So it's really going to happen, and that's the Cessna. That's not the flight instructor, by the way. Guys, it's amazing.
For this goal, we are thrilled to be here today.
We really feel that you guys are here right now with us. We're gonna fly traffic patterns. We're gonna fly over our hometown. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
So peace out.
See you later.
See you later, and let's enjoy.
Bye.
That's the flight instructor. That's Rob.
Come on.
So local flight club and a beautiful Cessna Skyhawk. Actually a little bit more advanced. It has a HSI rather than the standard heading indicator.
Yeah, and we were kind of lucky actually, because we were supposed to fly in a different Cessna, but the magnetos needed to be replaced, so we had this one. It was actually
exactly. It was also much more, it resembled much more the X-Plane 11 Cessna Skyhawk, so the grayish kind of back cover firewall color.
So, and he's doing his walk around here and explaining everything, and maybe you guys all know this, but for me it was really new also to see, like this thing that he points at right now, how it takes up the wind and how that is related to all the primary instruments. So for me it was also kind of an eye-opener to see, oh wow, this is where the plane gets the information from. This
Exactly, which was new, which we didn't cover in your lessons. Also, by the way, this is all in Dutch, obviously, so that's why we are chatting in English on top of the video, just to give you some information here. So the flight instructor is here, telling a little bit about the pitot tube. And now he's going to tell about the stall warning, the stall. He's going to suck on it too.
Oh, dat is wat de ene.
Ja, dat is je.
Oh ja, dat.
So you could hear the stall horn. It's, which is really nice. It was really a kind gentleman.
Yeah, also so enthusiastic and just enough.
Which is so important, right? Yeah. He was really connecting with us and allowing us to just play around and ask questions, which was really, really great.
And basically, I could do everything I wanted.
Yeah.
He was really very much in control, but I could try everything that I asked. But I didn't have any request, of course, but no, I could even help landing and stuff like that. So, but you will see that later. But it was like from the first minute onwards, it's like, okay, you can handle the yoke, you can make all the turns, everything.
As it should be.
Yeah, so that was so much fun.
So here he's going to do all the walk around. Well, I guess most of this is already covered, I know. As an 808 pilot, you know about this, but it's really nice to see him tell about, again, the basics, fundamentals of flight, ailerons, now the flaps. So he's telling about how you can use the flaps for landing, but also for takeoff. And at this point, we chat to each other, say, oh, do you also need 10 degrees of flaps with the takeoff then? And he said, well, it's actually recommended. It's not in the POH.
Ja, maar we zagen dat wel dat toen we laatst naar Finland vlogen, dat de KLM dat ook deed.
De grote vliegtuigen, die doen dat, ja.
So perhaps we should also, a little bit reflect, I guess, on our own checks. I've learned some new things as well from this flight, which is quite interesting. We will cover, I will mention those as the video progresses. It's nice to look at the video again.
This was just yesterday. It's so weird. So what we're basically doing is checking whether there are no loose screws or anything like that, which is kind of weird to realize that could even happen.
Yeah.
But of course they were.
Oh yeah.
It's just a mechanical structure, and it just works. It flies.
Leuk hè. Oh. Het is zo gaaf.
This part was new for me.
Dus dat iemand net gevlogen heeft.
Oh yeah, the trim.
That's the trim.
Yeah, that also something moves on your plane.
That's something that I check with my flights before I leave. Is when I look at the tail, when I do my checks with the controls, then I use the trim wheel to see if that thing.
So that was new for me.
He was really thorough in his explanations.
Yeah, but good. Thorough.
Yeah,
not
good
like
thorough.
Too much information.
No. Yeah.
Perfect balance.
It's just an experienced flight instructor who was excellent. And he was also excited about flight simulation. That was also important, by the way.
That's also cool. Yeah.
And amazed by the donations, guys. So he was totally new, obviously, to Twitch and online flying. This was usually a military base. As you can see, there are hangars just behind the flight instructor there, where actually F-16s were based, which are not there anymore. Now it's become a civil airport. Civilian airport, I mean. Civil.
Hetzelfde verhaal.
What was also weird for me is because it was very nearby our hometown, we could ride our bikes to the airport and we could ride all the way to the runway on our bike. And that was also weird.
Yeah.
And that
Ook
all
zo
the
mooi dat
gates
je het echt
opened.
aanraakt, hè?
And
Echt met je
Ja.
handen eroverheen. Ja,
Dat is niet verplicht, maar
Nee.
dat is mij een goed gevoel.
snap ik.
So
snap
here
ik, snap ik.
I'm asking or noticing that the flight instructor really uses his hands to touch all of the surfaces of the airplane, not just looking at it, but really have a feel for the airplane. He says, well, that's not really mandatory, but I like to do that, just to guide my attention. Checking the oil.
check.
Die is warm. Oeps.
See,
Oh ja,
5
5
chords,
is
barely.
voldoende. Dit kan dus met die wrap, met die extension.
It was like we were in a
Okay,
candy
dan kan ik het
shop.
ook goed
It
checken.
was so cool, and it was also fun for me to see her being so interested and curious about how the
Ik
thing
ga er altijd
works.
met handen in voor hun, dan weet je.
But
als
this,
een
you need to
ding
check
vast
with
zat,
your
dan weet
hands
je dat
to
het
see
een
if
ding
there
Dents
are very
zo
small
geworden.
dents
ja.
or
spinnen.
no birds
Zit vast met kleine
nests in the...
schroefjes, dus nooit geen kracht op zitten, maar ik voel altijd even of die vast zit en aan de propeller trek ik mee.
I'm gonna feel if the front nose wheel has a, yeah, I don't know how you call it in
Oh, yeah.
English,
Oliekoeler is vrij.
damper or something like that. That
Die
it,
volgen
that it's,
netjes.
Veren.
yeah, veren, yeah.
Dat gebeurt, hè? Dat gebeurt dus echt. Hè?
I
Er zijn
don't-
echt filmpjes ook op YouTube.
Bird nest indeed.
Bird
And also the
nest.
alternator. Apparently there's a band or some kind of a thingy there,
Van de accu, zeg maar.
Oh ja.
where the battery get its charge from.
Zet je voeten nog op de pedaal.
There we go, I climbed into it.
Nog verder naar voren, dan mag je de stuur omhoog halen en dan mag je hem zelf even naar voren.
And
The
this
cockpit.
was
You can see the
so
HII. It was
weird.
Ja,
a Skyhawk.
My feet could barely touch the rudder.
And I was sitting just at the back, behind Mireille, and I had all the space. It was like I was in business class. It was wonderful for me.
Business class.
Inderdaad.
Mag jij deze gordel wel even?
Ja.
Helemaal op jou.
Yeah, exactly. The nose suspension kept in black. Exactly.
Moet je hem even helemaal terug doen en dan als hij dit
I was so
ga ik hem even starten, want deze
excited.
start een beetje.
No GPS, Minimo says. Exactly. Well, it has some kind of a GPS.
It also didn't have an autopilot.
It did have an no. It didn't.
It was broke. I think I heard him say.
Oh,
that.
it was broken. Not a good.
Not a set.
Not a good first sign. So here you witness for the first time the Skyhawk start up.
Yeah.
Again, this is new for Mireille, right? It's the first time she's ever been in a small GA aircraft.
So we were doing the checklist, which was very nice to see that that's actually how they do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were going to taxi.
Oh ja.
But you were taxiing, actually. You are actually taxiing a Skyhawk for real. How was that? How was it like?
Surreal.
But was it different? Was it?
The biggest difference in general between the sim and the real life was that you need to push a lot harder
A lot of more pressure. Yeah.
in real life, yeah. But also on the yoke, on everything. So that was the biggest. You had to step a bit harder.
So
And
this
I
is actually
practiced a little
Mireille.
bit of the turns also where you brake just on one wheel. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even do that in
differential
the sim,
braking.
so,
Yeah.
that was also really nice. Yeah.
Before takeoff. So that's me totally freaked out, excited. Straight out departure, runway 05. And Mireille is gonna take off.
Well, no, not really.
No.
No, he's
Okay.
doing.
Okay.
En dan stop even normaal, blijven hebben. Op de grond.
He already did the MAC tests and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It was quite familiar. One thing that he didn't do was lean the mixture during taxi. Also not during flight, but I guess we were doing all kinds of turns, so then the mixture needs to be full in. So he now briefs Mireille about rotation speed, 65. But now she may push the throttle. She goes with her feet on the pedals and the yoke. He's now saying, turn a little bit to the center line. Mireille, yep, there she goes. Watch the speed. And there she goes. And you were flying.
People say there's something up with the screen title.
Oh, that's true. Well, I will look.
Yeah. And it was perfect weather.
It was perfect weather.
So when we took off, he said that we had a visibility of about 50 kilometers, which in Holland is very rare. So it was
Look at your That's the airport.
And he taught me to do all these kinds of turns. And then we were over the clouds. So it was actually nice. It was very clear weather and like sunny and everything, but there were also enough clouds to really get this like Aladdin feeling.
And you were flying. He was allowing her to make turns, climb turns, descended turns, coordinated turns. And it was heavenly. It was really like being Peter Pan.
He also had a very good idea of what we wanted, and he really planned the flight. So, okay, now we're going over the clouds, now we're going to turn that way, so that we had really the best visibility. What I also really liked in a way is that we did those turns and those practice things also always in not so populated areas. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, that makes sense, of course. But on the other hand, I also thought, is there a chance then that this doesn't work?
Yeah,
but
well, these are good considerations. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a stall.
It's a stall. That was I didn't know what to expect. So
Power, throttle idle, and there the speed goes.
like, yeah.
It's so pretty, and I was so pleased that we were flying with this Skyhawk. There goes the stall horn. There we drop.
But he was so in control.
Yeah. Was flight instructor just a very experienced pilot. You're saying that that was a little bit of a thrill, but you're really, really excited. That's what she said.
Yeah. So what I also noticed that it was more scary to make left turns than right turns, and it really differed quite a lot.
Because you're at the lower.
Because we had to do 30-degree turns, so quite steep, and then you're really like hanging over the edge and looking to the ground, and that's more scary than the other way, but it's so much fun.
Traffic patterns, that was up next. Just a few laps. So we're now flying to downwind. You can see that he's pointing now to the runway, just in front of us, perpendicular to our track. So we're going to fly all the way down to the right here, like we would in the flight sim. 1,000 feet, AGL.
So one of the things that was different from how we do it in the flight sim, like I think European regulations, is that you have different zones where you need to need to announce yourself.
Arrive, yeah, need to arrive.
But really specific spots, so not like a radius or anything, but really there was a small lake, and that was the Tango. That was the first spot.
The Tango reference point.
Yeah,
and that's different from the US, where you can just enter a downwind turn. But here in Finnish G has talked about this as well.
Yeah.
Here in the Netherlands, you need to report at a particular lake, report at a particular city, and then you move on to downwind. So we're flying now to base.
Thanks, Heike. It was so great.
She's flying on base. So she turned the flaps and the stuff. She's trimming. We also had some trim lessons, by the way. I had no time to film it all. I was also doing photographs, and I was sitting behind trying to capture everything, preventing to get myself nauseous.
I was
Actually,
doing the flaps also. So what was also so surreal is that people were quite close nearby the landing
runway.
So when we were landing, they were all like looking, and wow, this plane is getting close, and people are actually
and you were flying
it.
the thing.
I was flying in it. That was so weird. Well, together with my instructor, of course, but.
So coming in
so there
from
were
base
people
to final.
like really on that.
You're on that road there.
Path, so close to the runway.
So he's explaining here, which is also quite important again for me as a reminder, that making a good landing or traffic pattern is all about energy management, right? So you use pitch to change your speed, and use power to change your altitude. So what he's now showing me, right, we're descending. Rather than using pitch, he's just using now a little bit more power to get a better glide slope going. Because otherwise you might stall, right? So just fundamentals again is a good refreshment, at least also for me.
And also the trimming now makes much more sense to me. We also did the trimming and stuff like that, and he also removed the trim, so I really had to get everything by the yoke, and man, you need to push harder. Well, Frank says he can't hear as well.
No.
Is it this speech or of the movie? Because the movie, that's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
If it's the...
No, I think it's just about us. Our voice is good, but I set the video volume a little bit louder because it's just Dutch and we are going to chat over it because otherwise no one can understand what you're saying.
So, but I really had to use full force to pull on the yoke, and still it wasn't enough. And he said, "Well, you need to push or you need to pull," and I just couldn't. And we're landing, and it was. I kept saying, how do you call it? How do you say it in English? It looks like it's real. You know, I kept saying it looks like it's real.
And we all, as sim pilots, we all recognize that experience. So here you can see she's actually flying now on her own, using also the throttle. He's giving guidance, 65 knots. She's now on the throttle as well with her hands. So she's flying here. That's the final lap.
But I'm doing the yoke only, of course. The instructors.
And that's already shut down. This is also interesting. Mag check. I've read about that too. Some pilots think that it's actually damaging for the engine, but it's to check whether the magnetons are actually working. So you just switch it off and to the start, or to both very quickly.
Switches off.
It was also so weird that we removed the gas quite a few times, or almost completely, or the throttle pulled it back out. And then you really get that gliding feel. It was so.
Good night.
Yeah. And then it was
cut
already
off
finished.
was a bit weird to me to do the cutoff here, rather than
also,
setting the.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, also putting on the brakes that you really have to pull the thing out.
The parking brakes,
the parking brakes, yeah.
Eerste reactie, meid. Wat vond je ervan?
Oh, ik vond het echt super tof.
She's saying that she really was really excited.
Goed gedaan.
Thanks,
maar je ziet
Frank.
wat het verschil is, hè? Dus het is nogmaals, het is een brain exercise bij ons thuis. Nee, maar dat ook. Maar
And back we are, Mrs. Uncertified. Yeah, you did it. What's your? I want to have the Skyhawk in the background. What? Tell us, how did it go?
It was so much fun. It's surreal to see your own home and steering and feeling all the wind. It's
She did
amazing.
great.
We had a very good instructor as well. That really helps. He really explained everything very clearly.
He surely did.
We stalled, we did everything. A little bit of landing on the yoke.
Downwind stuff. You did
the words for it. Again, thank you so much for your donations and making this possible. This was really a very great experience.
A memorable experience. Well, it was. And for me as well, as a passenger, I've made 1,000 photos. I made over 20 video recordings. I'm hoping that it turned out right, because now everyone is already watching and have seen the final cut, obviously.
Yeah.
But once more, thank you so much, guys. This was awesome, and you did great.
Thank you.
This is Uncertified.
Flying is so much fun.
Get her
Here
own logbook.
I get my logbook.
First official hour of
lesson.
flight training.
That was so much fun.
I was so proud. I'm still so damn proud. Awesome. And that's the Uncertified Pilot, guys, or Mrs. Uncertified. So again, we would like to thank all of you who donated so kindly. Again, we are also as excited about the community, and you've said it so many times on stream, but just to again emphasize how special and grateful we are to being able to do such a flight lesson for her is just amazing. So we listed all of you guys who've contributed to donating for that donation goal to make this flight lesson a reality. Absolutely awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it really sparked a bigger interest in aviation. Man,
yes,
you were chatting about that
did.
flight for, I guess, until midnight or so. Like, did I really fly? Did I really fly?
I kept saying it was so much fun.
Well, it was. Well, B2 is saying, so when is the second flight?
Yeah, so actually on our way back, we decided that your next donation goal, when you've reached this one, then we will try to raise money for another flight, but then you are going to fly.
And you're going to go as a passenger.
And I'm going to go as a passenger, or maybe we switch halfway, I don't know.
We can do whatever. Yeah, eventually, can you imagine that there perhaps in some distant future, in some alternate reality, there would be a Cessna Sky where we step in without a flight instructor. We're going to say, well, where would I like to go to? To Paris?
If we win the lottery, this would be the first thing that I would do with it.
How much was it to earn your PPL here in the Netherlands? What did you say?
16,000 euros.
With everything in it, with the exams,
everything in it.
$16,000.
So I guess that's over $20,000.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you are still VFR pilot. And in Holland, I don't think it's very valuable to be just a VFR pilot.
Exactly. And then on top, you need to pay how much? 75 euros per month
for fees. Yeah. And this was still one of the relatively cheap associations, because you have
in the Netherlands
club,
at least.
Yeah, you have club, and you can split the hangar costs, and so yeah. But
it's a huge chunk of money. Yeah,
we need to buy some lottery tickets, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we were also chatting when we were biking or cycling back home. The thrill and excitement and educational value flight simulation brings, also through streaming with you guys. Again, with the further development of X-Plane, but also flight simulation in general, with flight simulation becoming much more social, that I talked about also on the Simcoders blog, there is actually quite a difficult trade-off between real-world flying and flight simulation flying, at least in my experience. I mean, there's so many cool and awesome things about flight simulation that would actually tempt me to remain a flight simmer first than a real-world pilot. But I do think, and that's what we experience as well, just having a few real-world flights is really thrilling, and also just to get that transfer going and knowing that what we do here in the flight sim is for real.
Yeah, I had so much background knowledge that helped me in the first lesson. So much basic understanding of what the primary instruments are, what you need to do in very general terms. I had some kind of feeling for the yoke. So really, flight sim really helps if you want to.
Where did it not help? Or did it not contribute in your experience? Where did you think, well, this is what it makes, makes
the actual
real
feeling of the wind. So if you make a left turn, that you really feel that you're hanging over the edge.
Yeah, you really,
you really,
and
you
G-forces,
see the ground.
For example, at the first, she was really getting familiarized with flying, obviously, and she was making a left turn without really pulling on the yoke, so the nose pointed down very gradually. We're going down with 500 feet per minute or so, until she noticed, oh my gosh, I dropped 200 feet, and so she just pulled on the yoke like she would here in a flight sim, but at that moment, she pulled, well, I guess 2 Gs, I don't know, 3 Gs, I don't know, but we all felt like, whoa, and that's obviously feedback that you don't get here at home using flight sim, so that's a difference.
So what I also really liked, and that's something that we didn't practice because we had one day to prepare me for my Cat 3 rating, is the very steep turns. So you can steer to the left, or you can also use your rudder to make that same turn, and then you immediately flip your nose as well, or flip or
bank
turn your nose, And that was that maybe was the coolest turn, because you really feel that's a steeper turn or more intense turn than when you just use your yoke.
Yeah, so the difference, so that's a coordinator, and you're not only using your yoke, your ailerons, but also your pedals. And he was showing to Mireille why that is important. And when you only use the aileron in a more rapid fashion, you see that the airplane is not only making a turn, but also, well, it's so difficult to explain this in English. He had such great words, Dutch words, to explain it, but you needed to apply a little bit more additional pedals to, well, counter a particular force.
It was about the wind on the plane. But the thing was, he showed me the turn, and I immediately asked, "Can I do that as well?"
And he said, "Sure." And there you went. Yeah.
And then I pulled on the yoke. He said, "First, make a normal turn," and I made a little turn, and he said, no, really make a turn. So from going horizontal, you really need to, pull the yoke and make that turn to the left. So that was already quite scary to do, so such an intense turn. And then he said, okay, now also put the rudder in and immediately make that intense same turn, and that was so much fun.
It was, and we flew over a city which we couldn't. Well, we didn't really capture here in the video, but we saw our own home, which was also surreal just to see that, and also for you, I guess it was the first time in a Cessna.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, amazing.
It was so much fun.
Up for the next flight, I would say. So I totally agree with a next donation goal and just to keep that transfer going. And again, guys, the idea is also we're not only grateful for you guys to power or have powered this particular flight lesson for Mireille, but as much so we like to then return the favor, obviously, with sharing this information and our joy and fun of how it is to transfer your flight simulation skills and experiences to the real world, because it is flight simulation and you can see it actually works. I cannot wait to see and demonstrate my skills there in that Skyhawk with the instructor to see how that works.
Yeah.
And on my terms, let me also just list a few things that I noticed for this flight, which I think is also interesting. First of all, I noted that he didn't lean the mixture for ground, also not during the flight. Well, during the flight makes sense though, because we make all kinds of special turns, special maneuvers, so you need full mixture. So that's okay. But at ground, he did not use the mixture, and that's also something that I noted with another pilot a couple of years ago on some Dutch airports. So there are differences between obviously how pilots manage the airplane in terms of leaning in this case, and well, these are small things that well. I did notice, and I thought, okay, is there a perfect procedure for a Skyhawk? I guess not, and perhaps also every Skyhawk is different. Even though you got a 172 model, one Skyhawk is not exactly the same as the other. So perhaps there are some differences there. The fuel cutoff at the end, which is totally new to me, I would say switch over the fuel tanks to prevent cross-feeding. Well, he just pulled on the fuel cutoff from the checklist. Okay, that's new. Takeoff with flap. 10 degrees of flap. We always take off with no flaps.
And he landed with full flaps, so we only land with 2.
Yeah, with 20 degrees, exactly. Did he also turn on the landing lights and that stuff with takeoff? No. Do you know?
No, didn't.
No. So I don't know if you...
That was on purpose, but...
Was on purpose, yeah.
I don't know why, but it was.
So yeah, these are just subtle differences that well, that were interesting to me. And again, what really was central to what I've learned from that flight is again that reminder of energy management. You change or you nail that glide slope when you are landing or flying that traffic pattern from base to final, using pitch to change your speed or to optimize your speed, and use power to control your altitude. And it becomes such a intuitive kind of way of flying, but to again hear that and make that explicit, and also to see how that works for Mireille was really wonderful. And I guess that makes a flight instructor to be able to make that clear, bring some clarity in what's going on.
One of the other things that we noticed and talked about later on was how many times he checked stuff even when we were in the air. So he did a lot of checks during the flight, but for each and every touch and go of the traffic pattern, once we were
the checklist
in the air, there was a checklist to make sure that we could make a safe landing and take off again.
Really systematic. That's also something that I noted, by the way. It's good that you mention flying with a checklist.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this before in previous streams as well. Flying with the checklist is not just a basic training aid. It's actually something that all pilots do, or should do at least. And it's actually also a bit of a skill, at least, to fly with that checklist. So I was also thinking, man, I should actually compress my really elaborate unofficial student checklist of the 172 into something that is a little bit more abbreviated, and also just start using a checklist. Do checks with every phase of flight.
It is, yeah.
Wonderful.
So are there any maybe questions left from the viewers?
No, Flight Gear X said, how much was the flight in total? Well, we kind of answered that. B2 is saying, so when is the second flight? Already talked about that as well. Babino is saying, fantastic flight. Awesome.
Yeah, I think we
that was
about
it. Well, and again, if there are any questions, just guys, also on YouTube, drop your comments on the in the comment box below the video. We're so happy to answer those questions. And again, it was such a thrill. Again, thank you for all of those donations. It's amazing that a community can bring our dreams to reality. It's really awesome. Thank you, Aitke.
Thanks.
Well, we enjoyed it as well. So Yeah, I would say that completes our
That's it.
really short stream for today. But
Yeah.
I think it's really exciting also to share this video with you guys live here on the channel, because this is what the Uncertified Pilot is all about. It's the joy and thrill of learning how to fly, not just flying, but challenging oneself. And also to see that flight simulation, our hobby, is actually something real. We are actually simulating flight. And the more serious you become with your flight simulation hobby, with your flight simulation practice, the more you get out of it. And especially if you do that real-world introductory flight, perhaps at your local airport, you perhaps re-spark that interest in flying and see that we're actually doing something serious here, which I think is really, really fun.
Yeah, and you should do it because it's so much fun, so surreal. Yeah, I keep saying. It almost looks like it was real.
Yeah, still, and I think in the next couple of days you'll still think back of that flight, like, was that a dream or was that for real? And I can totally imagine. It's such a new, totally novel experience, and that's what makes it memorable. So if you have a son or a daughter or your partner that might have an interest in aviation, try to lure that person into flight simulation perhaps, or just to say, well, let's do a local flight here in our area, because it's also just fun. It's also a scenic ride, obviously, just to see the local area from the clouds is really, really fun. So again, that's, I guess, the power of aviation, to get people interested in being a little bit more adventurous and challenging oneself. Alright guys, so thank you for dropping by on such a short notice. Again, the short stream. We loved sharing this video with you. Again, drop your comments if you're watching this at YouTube in the comment box below. Very, very soon we will pick up the thread with our own flight training, flight simulation training, particularly my IFR training as well. Perhaps Mrs. Uncertified is going to do her traffic patterns someday, and to further optimize and improve on her skills. Hoping to see you then. As always, happy flights and blue skies. Bye bye. Palm Springs Tower, Skyline Pop Hotel Tango, your mic is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000 with information X-ray inbound for a full stop, landing 13 left if that's available.
Pop Hotel Tango, Indy Link, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Pop Hotel Tango Indy Mike. Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact. About 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Remember, correction, Pop Hotel Tango Indy Mike, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 13 left, Pop Hotel Tango Indy Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, Pilots 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas as filed.
Pilots 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Pilots 4658 is cleared to Las Vegas Airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Pilots 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expecting cruising after 5, departure 167, squawk 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, free back is correct. Tango Indy Mike, taxi to ramp via Echo, remain this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Tango Indy Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic. Left downwind, runway 26 left, report base.
And left downwind for 26 left, and McCoy base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base departure.
United 242 Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 at 13.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Pop Hotel Tango 2 Kilo, ILS 4.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land with a 210 at 11. Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha, thank you.
Palm Springs ground class 4658 East ramp with the weather going for taxi.
Lotus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the island.
Number 2903 Alpha Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report this.
November 2903 Alpha, yes, low approach, runway 9, next report is
Palm Springs Tower class 4658 ready to go trail right at Bravo.
Lotus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff trail right class 465.
Palomar Tower, Kilo 520, Kilo Interior
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Roger taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha.
Lotus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Says a 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the G8 parking please.
We're set to Charlie Alpha, man on this frequency taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha is going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed?
November 2903 Alpha going missed.
Number 03 Alpha, Roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published missed approach procedure. November 2903.